One of the most emotional scenes in Spider-Man Brand New Day arrives without a single punch being thrown. There are no explosions, no superpowers, no giant battle. Instead, the film slows down and focuses on two people who once meant everything to each other: Peter Parker and MJ. Ever since the ending of Spider-Man No Way Home, fans have wondered whether Peter and MJ would ever find their way back to one another. Brand New Day finally gives them that meeting. But instead of delivering the joyful reunion audiences hoped for, the film presents one of the most heartbreaking conversations in Spider-Man history. The scene begins after MJ discovers the letter Peter wrote for her 4 years earlier. That letter represents everything Peter never had the courage to say. When Doctor Strange cast the spell that erased Peter Parker from everyone's memories, Peter originally intended to tell MJ the truth and rebuild the life they had shared. However, after seeing her injuries and remembering Aunt May's death, he chose to walk away instead. He believed losing her memories was a smaller price than risking her life again. For 4 years, Peter carried that decision alone. Now, standing face to face with MJ once again, he finally explains why he disappeared. He tells her that after losing Aunt May, he could not bear the thought of losing her too. He admits that every decision he made came from love. Not fear. Not selfishness. Love. Perhaps the most painful part of the conversation is how honest Peter becomes. He tells MJ he never stopped loving her, even after years of loneliness, even after living as a complete stranger. His feelings never changed. For Peter, this is not simply a confession. It is years of grief finally finding a voice. The audience naturally expects this emotional honesty to trigger something inside MJ. Perhaps a forgotten memory, a familiar feeling, some sign that their relationship still exists beneath Doctor Strange's spell. Instead, the film chooses a far more realistic and heartbreaking direction. MJ quietly tells Peter that the spell worked. She does not remember him. She does not know him. And because she does not know him, she cannot honestly say she loves him. The line lands with enormous emotional weight. MJ is not rejecting Peter out of anger. She is not trying to hurt him. She is simply telling the truth. To her, Peter Parker is a stranger standing in front of her with memories she does not share. That honesty makes the scene even more painful. There is no villain manipulating the situation. No misunderstanding waiting to be corrected. There is only the devastating reality created by Doctor Strange's spell. The moment also highlights Peter's greatest sacrifice. When the spell erased him from the world, he did not just lose his identity. He lost every meaningful relationship that defined his life. MJ was not simply his girlfriend. She was his closest companion. The person who accepted both Peter Parker and Spider-Man without asking him to choose between them. Hearing her calmly admit that she does not know him forces Peter to confront exactly what he gave up. Yet the scene is not entirely hopeless. Even without her memories, MJ listens to Peter. She believes his sincerity. She does not mock him. She does not dismiss his emotions. Instead, she treats him with kindness despite having no reason to understand the depth of his pain. That quiet compassion suggests that although memories can disappear, parts of a person's character remain unchanged. The conversation also gives Peter something he has not had since Spider-Man No Way Home: closure. For years, he wondered whether telling MJ the truth had been the right decision. Now he finally knows. The cost was real. The pain was real. But his choice protected the people he loved. Later, another small moment adds even more emotion to the story. Peter apologizes for the kiss that happened while Jean Grey controlled MJ's body. MJ has absolutely no memory of it. Her response confirms that none of those actions were truly hers. At the same time, it also reinforces just how completely Doctor Strange's spell continues affecting her memories. The film carefully avoids forcing a sudden romantic reunion. Instead, it chooses patience. Peter accepts that rebuilding any relationship with MJ must begin the same way it would with any stranger. One conversation at a time. That decision reflects Peter's emotional growth. Earlier in his life, he often tried to solve impossible problems as quickly as possible. Now he understands that some wounds require time to heal. The scene also prepares audiences for the hopeful ending involving Ned. If Peter's bond with Ned proves strong enough to break through forgotten memories, then perhaps the same possibility exists for MJ someday. The film never guarantees that outcome. It simply leaves the door open. That uncertainty feels more powerful than an immediate reunion because it gives both characters room to grow naturally. Overall, the conversation between Peter and MJ is one of the most heartbreaking moments in Spider-Man Brand New Day because it reminds audiences that not every sacrifice can be undone. Peter finally tells the woman he loves the truth he has carried for 4 years, only to discover that the memories they once shared are still gone. Yet beneath this sadness lies a quiet sense of hope. Although MJ cannot remember Peter Parker, the kindness, compassion, and connection that first brought them together still remain. Their story is no longer about recovering the past. It is about whether two people destined to find each other can build something new from the beginning.